Okay, Gary, you all ready to go? So we'd like to welcome everybody out to the city council meeting tonight. Thanks Riley and the Evans for being here tonight. I don't know if anyone read my message last week in our newsletter, but Woods Cross City, we decided to put or make a resolution, and I'm trying to remember, neurofibromatosis in our city for this next month. And so we're going to help with some fundraising activities at Memorial Day, and we're going to do everything we can to help bring awareness to this nasty disease. So anyway, we appreciate them being here and for the opportunity that we have for you guys being in our community. So thank you. We'll go ahead and start our meeting tonight. The council member Westergaard giving an invocation, followed by Gary.
Our kind Holy Father, we are grateful to gather together this evening as residents of Woods Cross and to talk about concerns and things going on here in our city. We're thankful for those who are involved, for those who put forth an effort to make our city great, to reach out to their neighbors. We're thankful for the freedoms we enjoy, for the opportunity we have to meet together, to govern ourselves, to be involved in that process. We're thankful for those who spend time and put themselves in danger to keep us free. Please bless them, those who serve abroad and here at home to preserve our freedoms and protect us. I ask you to please bless them with safety and protection, and that they can know of our love and support for them. Also, please watch over their families as they're away, as they're serving. Also, Father, we ask you to please bless those in our community who might have a reason to mourn or have heavy hearts, that they can know of our support for them, that they can be lifted up. We ask you please help us tonight to discuss items which are of concern here, and we can make decisions that will be most beneficial for those involved and those who reside here. We're thankful for all the blessings we enjoy. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on now to consideration to approve the minutes for April 2nd. Any corrections or additions?
I move that we approve the minutes from April 2nd.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm just going to abstain. I was not here, so.
Aye. So majority with one abstention. Okay, we'll move on to number 3, review of the financial report.
Okay, this is the financial report through March of this year, which puts us 3/4 of the way through the fiscal year. First one is our cash report, cash position, and you can see that we are tracking pretty much where we were last year, just a little bit above it. The main reason that we had a large influx, you see we went from 4.7 million to 5.5. A large amount of that is we got our REA statements came in during the month of March when they typically do. So that's why we had a large infusion of cash during that month. You can see that the general fund and the water fund are very strong at this point in time, and that's very good position to be The next one is the sales tax. You can see if you look over at March, you can see we were just a little bit above where we were last year, just a tad at this time, but I guess it's better than the last 2 months because we were behind. So I'm hoping maybe it's a reversing trend, and we're hoping that April will be above where we were last year there. But we are tracking to be where we budgeted the amount, so that's still not a concern for us there.
So Gary, I know it's on our list of businesses, I don't see United Oil on there yet.
Well, that's because I'm doing the top 50, and because they come in middle of the year, they'll probably not even show up on it, until next year, depending on, what they bring in, so.
So right now, they fall into that 51 balance, so you're
Right. Yeah, they would go into the number 51, 50,000 collection. You can see the cash position by fund. Again, you've got the general fund, you've got the water fund, and now the RDA fund is there as well, because of the increase of the tax increment in there. The RAP tax, you can see you've got a fairly, significant balance there as well. And that's something we talk about during the budget sessions of what we'd like to see with that balance of money. You're also starting to collect with the other parts. You can see the 236,000 in the park, that's out of impact fees. So if you combine that with the RAP tax, those are funds that we can spend on capital improvements for parks. There. Let's go back to the cash, sorry there. Transient room, tax. Again, March was, above where we were last year, just a little bit below where we were the year before. We're just a little bit below, annually of where we were last year, but that's not a real concerning amount there. Public safety impact fees, during the month of March, we did collect some there, so again, compared to last year, we're way ahead of where we were last year, just again, a function of the building that's going on in the city. RAP tax, again, tracks pretty much the sales tax, so March, we were above where we were, last year, and, the annual amount were about $10,000 above that. The next one is your energy use tax. Again, that's really tracks the weather. March is a little bit above where we were last year at this time for the month of March. But for the total year, we're about 64,000. So we've had a couple of large, increments in the other area that, helped bolster that above where we were last year. Court fines, again, during the month of March, considerably above where we were last year in March, during the month of March. And again, we're just about $13,000 above where we were last year, so we're tracking good with that one. Next, table here just shows the general fund. We collected about 66% of the revenues. Our total expenditures are 74%. But a lot of that we haven't collected is fund balance budgeted for the shop that helps show that. If I show that in there, our revenues would most above the expenditures. We don't have a whole lot of departments that are above, the amount, that was budgeted. That is a large concern, to us. The water fund, cash increase is $151,000. We're budgeting for the end of the year, $265,000. We will probably exceed that, and that's good considering that we've already started the water meter replacement project, so we'll have plenty of money in the budget next year to move ahead with that. Water impact fee, again, revenue over expenditures, $226,000. We budgeted $14 to get the building that's starting now. So that may build up over the next few years, but then over the years that we don't have building, then it'll pull that down. We use that money to pay for the water loss. The garbage fund, again, showing a net income of about $7,000. We were projecting a loss in that fund, but that will depend on whether we buy additional garbage cans. We're finding that our garbage cans actually outlived their normal life, And so we're having to replace more of them than we typically do. We'll probably over the years have to increase that as they get older and older.
Have we heard back from Waste Management, stickers and stuff?
They're here.
Oh, they're here.
We've just been waiting to kind of dry up a little bit. We didn't want to put them out there.
I didn't know that we had received.
Yeah, they're sitting there in the front office, like we stacked the boxes there, so they're ready to go. We just kind of held off to get the weather, which is good. The next funds are the smaller funds. You can see in the Class C fund, again, revenues over expenditures, that's because we use some of the money out of Class C for the public works building, but that's nearly been erased, in the public, in the Class C. The same with the RAP tax. Again, the part impact fees, we've collected quite a bit there. The RDA now, because we've had our tax increment, we've out of the red, is black there. You see the council a little bit down, but because of the conferences, that should equalize. We promised capital improvement, again, we took money out of that for the public works building. Storm drain and storm drain impact fees. Storm drain fees, we went there for public works, and then the storm drain impact fee, we did some pretty major projects right here, which completed that, but it's building back much quicker than we anticipated in the building. So, we feel that we're, in good shape, about where we projected to be, and we don't see any areas that we need to make. So, any questions?
Any questions from here? Okay. Let's move on then to item number 4, approval of the cash disbursements from April 1st to April 10th.
Equal seven, I don't have any questions. I know Matt asked a question about the banners. There are police support banners and the other banners. It says public works, but it's not to celebrate the public works building. It's like the Christmas banners, the holiday season, like the know each year after year and those are the two.
Oh, good. So we did get a law enforcement banner.
We did.
Right out on my team, so good, I'm excited about that.
I actually have them in my office.
Okay, I will come and visit you, I'd love to see. Are there any questions?
I just had a question, the check for Derek Bauer, is this our last one, or it looks like there's some overlap between
Well,
payment to him and the payment to EPS.
well, EPS is just for the capital, for the,
They haven't taken over
they haven't taken over the maintenance because we need to get all the servers and everything set up. So what we're doing is keeping Derek, and they're not charging us until we get that set up. So as soon as you approve this check, I send it to them, then they'll start getting stuff ready.
Okay.
So that's why you got a little bit more.
We're looking like June, right, first, before we get going all the way.
It may be as far as that.
Have we figured out how to fix the internet or not?
We're working on it.
So, the third would be a route, regular route is route for taxes across the internet.
Okay.
Is our new mascot?
Well, right, either
Okay, so I'll call for a motion then, if there's no further questions, to approve the cash disbursements from April 1st to April 12th, 2019.
So moved.
Second, roll call vote, Matt.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. We're now to a brief open session, and one item that was left off the agenda, we've got Jason here from the trust, and if you'd like to, we love you to come, so it's great that you're here.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. My name is Jason Watterson. I'm with the Local Governments Trust. I'm here to present the city with the Trust Accountability Program for the 4th consecutive year. So congratulations for that. We appreciate all the efforts that you've put in. You've already received a check for $3,073.40. That's a percentage of your liability premium that comes back. You also get full discounting on your workers' comp premium for doing these things. I won't go into any big long diatribe about what TAP involves, but I did want to highlight the city and just talk about Gary's team and the leadership that he's given there in making safety a part of your culture. It hasn't always been that way. Years ago, we had challenges, and we've made some significant improvements, and, you know, one of those things is just looking on your agenda, item number 13, you have to say the accountability report. That's part of what you believe, and that's really what we're trying to accomplish with the TAP program, with the local governments around the state. And so we really appreciate all of the efforts that you've done, not just do the things that we put into the TAP program each and every day, where all the department heads and really all the staff are making safety part of what they do. So congratulations, and thank you so much for supporting the trust and being a partner for so long.
Thank you, Jason, appreciate it. Okay, I guess we'll get a report on how the different teams are doing later.
Yeah, you will.
That's right. So is there anyone else in the, audience who would like to address the council? Margaret?
I just have a few brief questions.
So state your name and address.
Barbara Barnett, 1720 South, 580 West, in Woods Cross. Anything else, my phone number?
No?
Lifetime.
I have that on my phone, so you're.
Okay, I just have, I noticed driving down 1500 South, there's a notice that they're rezoning the section of property from agricultural to residential. I'm just concerned about the amount of homes they want to put on that. I think that if we're gonna go from agricultural to residential, that they shouldn't take that and cram a whole bunch of homes in an odd space in our, because we have a lot of big fields down there behind homes, and I'm worried that all of a sudden you've got this funny little subdivision.
So let's have you hold those thoughts,
Okay,
because that is one of our agenda items coming up. And
Okay.
there will be an open session, a public hearing where you can come and say those very thoughts.
okay,
And then-
good, I'll move on.
Then it's part of the public hearing,
Okay, and when is that,
just
Tonight?
in another couple of items here.
Okay, perfect. Are the townhomes going in at the end of 580 West? Are they ready for Jill, are they planning on putting townhomes at the end of that street along across the auto course?
That was there.
Yes,
So there's one project that's been approved already.
There's 20 townhomes that have been approved in that section. On the north, yeah,
On the north side, right?
on the north side.
So not back.
Right, east of the retention basin.
okay. And then there's 20, are they gonna fill within the retention ponds for space? Parking, put parking in. I guess my question is, has the city done a rezoning or a new law on the parking? On what the people have to provide parking on property versus out into our streets?
That's been a big part of our discussion, and so we're addressing that as we move forward. You know, we painted some of it, got the curves red there, so they can't continue down to the curve down there. But eventually, they're gonna have to park on site. But there will be plenty of parking for the new condos and stuff.
To park on site, not to park out on the street? Because auto source takes that whole road anyway, so there's no room for the townhomes to park anyway.
The townhomes, I think they even have just a little bit, even more than they have to have. They have carport fence, extra garages, and some extra stuff.
Okay,
In those five, it's like 5 buildings, four buildings, 5. One of
I
the,
said that, I can't remember.
I think we have around 4, right? Is it 5?
5 and 4.
5,
Five.
4, okay.
5 buildings is 4. Okay. All right, also, I kind of heard rumor that they may put apartments east of the Woods Cross Seminary. And is all parking also gonna be that? So they have to park totally on site?
Yes, that's part of the project as well, so they have to meet the.
Because I'm really concerned about our
That
high
one's
school
not been
students.
approved yet.
Yeah, so
Okay,
They,
good, because our high school students take that whole road over there. I mean,
They came in with the concept and, we talked about it overall for the zoning, but, that project's not been approved yet.
Okay, I would like to say that they've got enough free parking spots for apartments. Because, or else they're gonna come out onto our roads and our high schools, they're more concerned about the traffic now, they're just coming, the apartments, the townhomes. We already have our subdivision, and we've got, I don't know, 2,000 high school kids coming in and out at the same time in the morning that everybody's leaving for work in the townhomes and the apartments. So I'm really concerned, and I don't want the same thing to happen with another property that went in, and then we're liable to put a light up because they don't have enough parking, they put too much people in a small area. Now we've got to provide out of city money a stoplight because of their choices, and I don't want to see that happen. If they're gonna do it, then they should have to provide a light. If there's gonna be a light in there at any point, they should have to pay that bill, because they keep coming and doing things and then sticking the city with money. So I was concerned about that. One more thing, and then I'll, move on, the Snoop buildings that are going in over here. I was really concerned, the meeting that the last meeting that I was here, that he got approval, he made the comment that the building height was not everything at 35 feet below, it was an average. I wanna make sure that there is no average, that he holds to the 35 feet on those buildings, and is it being measured and taken care of before the project goes, and he's like, oh, sorry, it's already built. Because I did not like that statement of, oh, the average is 35 feet. So we've got some that are shorter, some that are taller. The taller ones don't pass code. So I was just heads up that might be happening, because that's what I heard, Mr. Schmidt say at the last meeting when his, project was approved.
Jim, we're monitoring that, right?
Yeah,
It's been built according to plan, right?
according to plan.
Do we measure them?
You know, I have talked to the building inspector on how they maybe physically do that on site, and on the plan they do, but their building.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So do they not allow them to build taller buildings on their plan?
No, the
It
plan
can only
would
be
be
a
a
certain
form
height.
of what was
Okay.
approved.
Because he just made the comment about the average.
Well, but.
And so that was a concern to me, an average is not
What
legal with all buildings.
he was referring to though was the building itself, the height around it, some parts of the building's lower and some parts higher, and the average measuring around, it wasn't like the average in the building was being some higher or the building itself. And that's for our regulations.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because he just made a comment about the average when they were talking about the height.
Yeah.
And what I remember what the average was, because it was a question that we've had, in the process, there was some disagreements on what we consider a two-story building. And the way the ordinance is that the two-story building is from the average height of the building from what the ground is around it. And so the garages are on the bottom level, and so that level will be lower than where the front doors are, and the landscaping will be sloped or have an average. And that was what I remember the average was, and that's how it applied to the two-story height. Because if you look, this could be a long discussion. I won't make it long,
Okay.
but if you look at it from the garage side, I would look at it and say it's a three-story building. But if you look at it from
The
the street side or the front door side, you would look at it and say it's a two-story building, and there's an average in between there that was ruled that it makes it a two-story.
And they're pretty close to the street, on the side.
This first building was very close to the street.
Yeah, we can all walk by with money, oh, no, I'm sorry. It's just, we're really close, but I think the council for your time.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, anyone else from the public like to address the council? Okay, we'll move on now to, the community work promise report, Rachel.
I have a whole list of dates, that's what I counted tonight, so Pat was able to fill in for me last month, so I'm not sure what she went over with you guys. So stop me if I'm giving you repeat information, but, so I'll start with some of the receipts. you may have the dates, but I have who's coming, so I'll just go ahead and. So, at Mills Park, June is at Mills Park, and June 14th is either the UU Chemistry Department or the KSO weather. So that's kind of up in the air a little bit. June 21st is Brad Wall, and he's the magician, and he's gonna come do some of his stuff. June 28th, I'm not exactly sure what it is, she just said it was a Chinese thing. In July, they meet at Hope Park, and July 12th is Clark Burden, and he's an author of a book called Giants in the Land. And he'll be talking about his book. In a sense, donated the book, like, they are buying them for $3 a piece, which is a huge discount, but the kids will receive them for free, so that's really nice of him. And then July 19th, again, is either the UU Chemistry Department or KSO. So they're coming, they don't know which days. And then July 26th, is that holding out of the tour that they'll be doing. For Arts in the Park, the concert and movie night, June 10th is the Davis Time Celebration Orchestra and the movie with Mary Poppins. July 15th is Andy Lucier's band. I don't know, does it have a name? I can't remember.
He texted me and he said the name is the Rockies.
The Rockies. Is that the Sun?
Yes.
Okay, so the Sun is gonna open up for his dad. So the Rockies are opening up, and then Andy Lucier's band, which is called Endless Summer.
That's Andy's dad.
Oh, that's Andy's
Endless
dad.
Summer.
So what's Andy?
But three, I don't know that Andy has a name for it.
Okay.
But he plays in both.
Okay, so the Lugiers
Yeah.
will be doing it.
It's pretty much Endless Summer is gonna be their
And
performance.
that's July what?
That one is July 15th.
Yeah.
And then the movie that night will be Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse, the kind of the comic animated one. August 12th is Black Canyon Band, and the movie that will be showing is Dumbo, and that's also a night out of Triumph that night, so that's a good one as well. And then the farmer's market, the dates have changed a little bit, they're no longer gonna have a market in May, and then they've cut down to one farmer's market a month. So the first one will be June 3rd, and then July 8th. You may possibly have that scheduled in July 15th, that conflicts with one of the conferences, so that was the 8th. Then August 5th, September 9th, and October 7th. And that's all I have. Katrina, she didn't get on the agenda, she has follow-up with the farmer's market, so.
Yeah, it's part of the community promise.
And your staff, so, does anyone have questions for me and all our dates?
Just that I checked on the movie, and Dumbo may not be released by August. And so if that's not the case, we'll probably do Ralph Breakstein and Witch Cross.
So, real meeting.
Okay, all right.
Hi, okay, so we told the mayor we had to take the dates down because the produce dollar guide can only come to so many. And we're trying to, he and us is supposed to simplify it to start and get it going, so I agree with him. So that's why the dates went down. And I have just a couple things really quick. Bountiful food vendors price is now down to $20. So I don't know what you guys want to do with that. I need to lower ours is 30, which it was higher last year for Bountiful, but we gotta lower it because they're the ones that are coming. So we either need to go to 20 or 15, which one do you guys wanna do? Don't we have to approve that?
Yeah.
Well,
We
we'd
have to
rather-
find that in the ordinance, but we can do that. Which would you rather?
We'd rather do 15,
I'd rather do 15 so we can at least get some there
and then as we get more popular and grow, we gotta get changing.
Okay, and the other prices should stay the same. I'm not worried about those. So it's gonna be 5 for farmers and then 10 for crafters, 15 for booths with electricity. So that can all stay the same. For our first farmers market, we're doing a logo contest. I have some prizes that I collected and I'm continuing to collect from donors. I want to be able to put the donors, they give prizes on a logo. So at the bottom of the logo, do you guys have any issue with that at all?
No.
Okay, because it's kind of like they gave us, we're gonna give to them. So there's that. And then with that as well, I kind of volunteered you guys to judge, because I'm not. So, you guys get to judge. And we'll do that, we'll let you judge it before we do the first farmers market. We'll announce it as the first farmers market in June.
And then there's a couple others that I said I wanna do. There's a couple dance companies that are willing to come. I just need to square away their date. I wanna do a pickleball tournament, so if anyone has anybody that can help with that, talk to me.
As one of the, like.
Yeah, it's usually gonna be in
on
July or August, yeah, so we're gonna try and get some prizes for that as well, and then have that contest there, because I think that would be really fun to get people kind of immersed, and then we're gonna do a village, I kind of wanna do a Harry Potter village, but I don't know if we can do that, I'm trying to bring that for October, and then we have one date for September that I haven't finalized an event. So if you have any thoughts, bring them to me. I do want to be able to put my team together. I want to have people that are gonna be at the market, so I'm asking you if we can waive their booth fee. Whatever booth they're gonna have, I just wanna be able to waive it, so that they're getting a perk for all their time they're putting in. So if we can look into that,
So people who are on your board, on your
Yes.
committee.
and we're not just talking, oh, I'll help with this for one day and then we're done. We're talking people that meet us at the meetings, people that are there at the market. Yeah, because I need more help, and I do have people that are willing to help, so I want to reward that help.
Okay.
So, and then another thing, and the last thing, I want to work with some of the local gardeners on ours, because the biggest thing to keep produce dollars, which was a huge selling point, just so you guys know, produce dollars, we give each kid that comes to our farmer's market $2 to go spend on produce. So they made so much money last year. For us, it's just one market. It will be very beneficial. To keep them, I need to have more produce vendors there. So spread the word, we need farmers. It's only $5. They don't have to pay taxes on it. And we're gonna kind of change up some of the rules so they can just put a table out if that's okay with the health department. So I need to be in touch with them and figure out all their laws on that. But that's kind of what we wanna do. But with that, I want to kind of get Rocky or some of the other people to maybe come to our first one and bring like produce plants to help out. So I don't want them to have to pay a fee for coming, because we're gonna try and team up with them. So I don't know if we need to approve that through another thing, or if that will just work, but so let me know.
Do you know if the tractor store sells plants as well?
Tractors.
Tractor supply.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to get plants there, because then
Yeah, we're
people
aware.
Yeah,
I have a contract for Yvette Steele, October, it's for Harry Potter, she's the Harry Potter viewer, and she was a nurse.
Okay, so I will use her, and I did the new city person, what's her name? She's worked with the Downville Farmers Market people, she has me working with them too, so they're helping us with the food truck vendors, trying to get some of them. But if you guys know any food truck vendors, or,
Have you talked to the Hawaiian?
I'm talking to them,
Okay.
but we need more than just the Hawaiian. And the guy that was selling tacos,
Taco guy's gonna be
he
here.
said he could come, yeah, I just need more. So the amount of people we're gonna have at least.
Have you gone to the food truck Friday on Bountiful?
I have, and I've given them lots of stuff.
Okay.
I need to do it again. I'm recruiting for our city. That helps me recruit, because if you guys can find farmers, I can get plenty of crafters, not to discourage anyone, if you're a crafter, it's great. But I need farmers, and I need food people. That's gonna be what keeps us going,
Have you
so.
talked to Skinner?
No,
James Skinner, who owns the produce across from Ford Recycling PC.
no, but I will talk.
Okay, I can get his number for you.
I would love that. Okay, apparently me and you just need to talk. All right, so
Okay,
we'll check everything. Thank you,
I
guys.
had a question on that.
Okay.
As far as, is there, I guess this would be Gary, we have the money in the park funds and the rat tax. Yeah, I'm thinking way outside, I'll probably be shot, but we're trying to get this thing off the ground. Could you use some of that money to support the farmer's market and basically do it for free this year?
For the first year.
We have to pay the health department. What other fees do
Okay,
you pay?
okay, I don't know that I wanna give everybody a freebie, and I'll tell you why, and you guys, this is why Foxborough did that, and everybody showed up with everything, because it was free. So there was it just ruined their farmer's market.
And you're the expert in this,
No, I
I
thought
want
about
to do
that.
something that that if you want to, if they're helping out, they get it for free.
If they wanna help with something,
If they're food trucks, they come for free because we need them, we can't get them something, I mean, if there's some other way that we can say, yeah, there's $500 in the pot, that you can have to pay whoever's dues you want, or whatever, without breaking rules. I want this to get off the
I
ground.
think if we do some things, I mean, there are things, I was trying not to use any of the
Right.
money from the city, because it will produce money over time, if people buy spots. The thing that we need is, we need a banner, because people didn't even know what we were doing last night. They would drive by, they're like, what's going on? But I don't want to do banner until we have the logo. So those are kind of a trade-off, so, and I'm sure we can build a stand, yeah, yes, we.
I'm building a stand. With that long pole.
We can build a stand, I'm sure we can help me build some kind of a stand as well, but if we could just get the banner, and if we could get, I can't advertise, there's like a monopoly with advertising at the schools, you have to pay so much money, and it's ridiculous, I don't even wanna I don't wanna support it. So, let's not do that, I just think if we can get like some flyers out there, we can get the website going a little bit better, and that's on me. But if you guys wanna help with something, it would be helping to give me good prizes or good resources for prizes, so that people will want to be involved in it. That's where we need money. You need some donations. Yeah, and I can get donations, like, we have a good community, but, I don't know, I think that's where it's gonna be.
Well, you have a lot on your plate, so we need to delegate.
Yeah, that's why I want my people to have a free vendor fee, that will open up the door. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And I think it'll be better this year, we don't need to.
Yeah, I'll work with you
Okay.
on this, and we'll get together and get it all figured out.
Okay, all right, okay.
Thanks, Katrina, appreciate that. Okay, item number 7, police report, chief.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Y'all settled in your new place?
No,
No.
moved in since Friday, so,
Okay.
I found my gun, I felt good. So, police report, obviously, when spring hits, when summer hits, we start getting more calls, we're up, a little bit, 35, 37 calls in March than we were in February, and that'll continue to increase as we get warmer. 196 cases were opened in the month. We started the Citizens Academy, it's kicked off here, and, it's moving around the county right now, we've done the first week in June. We had a cold case meeting with the Davis County Sheriff's Office, and we talked about the Teresa Greaves case. They're gonna share all their information with us, which the previous sheriff wouldn't do. So we're either gonna take that, and, Lieutenant Asoro is gonna try to take some of that evidence, maybe, and do some DNA work with it, and see if we can maybe solve that case. Several of us attended the Utah Chiefs Conference in St. George, had some good training down there, and, we may or may not call one day.
We're totally okay with that.
Officer Jones was sent to the FTO school, so he's a field training officer now, he's passed that. We did some lethal force scenarios with the Utah Attorney General's office. They have a 280-degree screen where they can, do scenarios that they program in the computer. And if you convincingly tell a person to get down on the ground, they hit the D button for down, and the suspect reacts as you command them, so it's a pretty neat system to have. And that's open to city council members. If you wanted to go down and see that, they put a little paddle in the back of your belt, and if you get shot from behind, it shocks you. It's pretty cool. I mean, it makes you mad, you know, you turn around, start shooting.
It's not like being tased, right? I've done that.
It's not like being tased, but it is like half of a 110 shot.
Okay.
Say. So, if we want to, if it's council interested, we can set that up at a night, and maybe we could cancel council meeting and just do that.
Let's do a field trip.
And so, Lieutenant Asoro did attend the cold case database training. The state is mandating that all cold cases are put onto the database now, so Teresa will go on there
they have, they have done a ground request for all our information. I think we're gonna hold that back for now, but we gave them the basics.
So I'm confused, why is the Davis County Sheriff's Office, why did in the past, why did they hold that? Because I remember going with Adam and
Yeah.
Chief Butler up to the sheriff's office, and we had a meeting on the very case. And I thought everybody was gonna work together, we were gonna use their crime lab, we were gonna do several things together, but.
I think it was the detective involved, who's now retired, and the sheriff at the time didn't want to share it. So that's what I was told. And the current sheriff is all for
Yeah.
whatever we wanna do, he would still let us take it and run with it. We don't know where she was actually murdered at, so it could have been in our city, it could have been where she was found, so we're gonna work on that. Use of force review, we had a couple, firearm point and the Cisco found one in domestic, which was involved in a firearm. Arrest control technique, that suspect arrested at Smith, he resisted, and, once the taser comes out and a little dog gets on you, for some reason they didn't fly. That's what happened in that case. There was a drag stun, which is, everybody knows what a drag stun is, when you look at a volunteer. You take off the little thing that shoots, and then you just put that on their neck, or their arm, or whatever. And it's just like the little paddle that we'll experience when we go through that shooting thing. But it's not as bad as the pros. So that was done, and that doesn't injure the person or leave marks or anything, so. That doesn't affect anyone's life. SWAT team activity, they assisted the UPD 3 times, and they had their training, and then we had SWAT team tryouts. Officer Armstrong tried out for Woods Cross. After a grueling, almost 12 hours, he decided SWAT was not for him, which I did not blame him, because he thought about it, he talked to the other guys, being on call, the extra training, 10 hours a month, every month. You can only miss 2, so you have to do 10 a year. It's a big commitment, and he said, I don't think it's for me, so we will still not have an officer on the SWAT team, but we'll support them anyway.
Did that training take place over the the old GE building over here?
Yeah, on Sunday.
On Sunday.
It did. Yeah, now, they were in 3 locations, so that was one location.
No, he has little kids too, so.
Right, and it's tough, I mean, I've been there, I've been in a movie with my wife and say, hey, I gotta go, do you wanna go home, or I'll come back and get you? Like, the last time it was like 9 hours, and you didn't come back. So, it's hard, cause it's a lot of movies. Yeah. Yeah. Keep watching the thing. I mean, that's a big gap.
Well, she was in Logan, and we went to Tremont.
No, I didn't do it up there. Woods Cross High School, they did have a theft, a couple of fights, one was with 2 females, they both suspended. There is completed for the year, Officer Litton has done that, and done a fine job, and we've had many positive comments about him there.
When are they doing the graduation for that, or have they already?
He was in here, yesterday getting shirts ordered and stuff, but I didn't have to today.
Okay,
You want me to put that out? I can,
cause he likes to have us come, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah, if you
yeah.
could get us the date,
Okay. Okay, I'll get the date and I'll put it out.
thank you.
He also went on a music trip to California,
Oh,
and they took first place. He was one of the chaperones, so that was good. And we participated with the school in the lockdown drill. We locked down the school, went around, checked all the classrooms. One class I went to, the teacher started to swing a chair at us, and like he was fighting, and he made it a little too realistic to, I was just going like this. I didn't draw my gun, so the police, of course, on me. But it was good, because the teachers need to practice that, and so it worked well. And they found out that when they they have an automated system, they hit a couple buttons, and it cleared before it was supposed to, and so they learned about their system as well. And they have a swipe, a key they can swipe to lock all the doors. Well, they thought they would do that, but then we told them, if Officer Linton's in there and you swipe that key, none of us can get in help. So we don't want that to happen. If there's someone in there causing an active shooter or something. So they worked through that bug and fixed that system, so they have 2 keys now that they can unlock before lock. So hopefully they can keep those keys straight. They're gonna color coordinate.
Well, good, I'm very excited for that.
K-9 activity, several searches, drugs were located, a stolen handgun was found, 2 assists, no indication. Another one in the killed at Renaissance, there was some methamphetamine, some paraphernalia found. And then, the Officer LaBounty is in drug trafficking, or, police attack school, I guess they call it. And his dog was getting in the back of the truck and cut his back and had to have stitches. And so we had an injury to the, Legend, the police dog. And then Officer LaBounty had the sleeve on and he got bit through the laces and he had the stitches too. So both canine and the handler both got stitches last week, so. The Detective Division, 16 active, child abuse and neglect reports being investigated along with DCFS. 19 active theft, property fraud, assault, and death cases. And the detectives both have been doing a fantastic job keeping up and working and trying to keep up with all the cases. They had a call today from UPD that says we had a stolen car that was dropped in an apartment complex down there yesterday. So they went down and drove around and found it and recovered it for one of our citizens. So they're doing a fantastic job.
So they've been doing overtime?
A little bit of overtime on the homicide case, they did quite a bit of overtime.
Okay, would you mind, like emailing us for council kudos to them?
Sure.
If not, we can
Yeah.
acknowledge their.
Absolutely, and the Detective Sheldon came out and helped us yesterday on our, suicide on the train crash. So,
Okay.
on the police spotlight, on the 26th of March, we conducted a warrant service on a male who assaulted his pregnant, girlfriend, in Utah County. Once we located the suspect, he tried to get into his own house, but the door was locked, and he's trying to get his keys out when we got to him. Inside the house, after talking to the neighbors, there was loaded handguns. He had made a threat to start his house on fire after he had a shootout with police. So the officer did a fantastic job apprehending him before he got inside the house. So that search warrant, he was charged with, interlock device violation, which he shouldn't have been driving. His car, open container, failure to stop, command of an officer, reckless driving, driving on a revoked driver's license, and possession of a firearm by a restricted person. He also had an active warrant for DUI, so he was pretty easy to get into the jail.
Chief Reed is also working in the traffic accident on motorcycle.
No, the highway patrol. Yeah. We had Officer, Kimberly was the first one there Saturday, so she dealt with assisting them, but the highway patrol handled it.
So the question about our dispatch appreciation week.
Yeah.
Have we done anything for our
I think
dispatchers?
we have Thursday,
Okay,
so we're gonna take them. I asked Adam what we're gonna take, and he said donuts and chocolate milk, I think. So,
all right,
I think we'll do something a little more than that, but yeah.
okay, excellent. And then we got the banners for the law enforcement week.
We did get the banners, and actually I'll go out, but I'll bring them on the table, so.
Oh, okay,
Okay, everybody can see.
excellent.
Any other questions?
And they will be up the second week in May, and then we'll take them down, I think, on the 16th or 17th, the end of police week. Then the Memorial Day will go up.
Oh, okay. And did we get yard signs or just banners?
Just banners,
Okay,
but I know 12, I can't remember what the number is.
I think that's good to start with.
On the, when we have the night with cops,
Oh,
we put
the
them back
national
up.
night out?
Right out of crime, or, yeah.
Depending on what they are, that may be kind of a good time to swap them back.
Have you guys started planning that?
We have registered, but we haven't, the planning is in different stages.
Okay.
And
I'll
then,
come and meet with you.
on Memorial Day, I think, we're gonna have 4 officers there. I know in the past, I don't think, I was told we haven't had very many.
We have,
We've had
Maybe 1 or 2, usually 3 or 4.
Because we've had a couple participate in the flag ceremony, and then Adam and another officer usually, help land the lifeline back in the fall time, so.
and,
But that would be great.
You remember one of them driving the car, or the motorcycle?
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Officer Singleton did the motorcycle, and then we have another one who brought up the back of the race, right? Robbie?
They spread out for so long, I don't know, if there's never really an official end to that race.
There's still people out
The
there.
stroll people come in, you're not sure if it's up for a stroll or.
Or is there a parking lot?
It's hard to kind of clean up the end, but.
And it's a 5K, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're doing the same route we did last year.
Okay, you have a question?
Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Appreciate
Oh,
all the
thank
effort.
you, yeah, thanks for all the work you guys have done. Oh, I did have one more thing.
Okay.
On our, yesterday, I don't know if you're aware, but the school can do reverse messages out to parents.
Oh, okay.
And so, we were able to, I contacted Stephanie, let her know about the accident, and she contacted the school, and they were able to get that message out to parents. So I just wanted to make you aware of it. so
I knew they
can
had
have
that capability. We kind of figured with the rain that there would be a lot, wouldn't be a lot of.
Yeah,
foot
there would be a
traffic,
lot less.
because it was raining pretty good, so.
Yeah, but it worked out well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was my biggest concern, so we appreciate
Yeah, that's good.
all the work you did there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So item number 8, consideration to adopt a proclamation designating April 25th and 26th as Arbor Day observance. You would try to, Scott?
So every year, as part of our Tree City Award, we have to do an Arbor Day recognition. This year, we have designated April 25th and 26th for those days and plan on planting 15 trees in Mills Park. So we'd like to declare that and I'll proceed on with some other stuff.
I like that we're doing it in the actual month of April, instead of December.
Usually
Good
it's
job.
After her, you get it done.
Way to be on top of that.
So I'll call for a motion then to approve resolution 2019-673.
Proclamation, I wrote resolution for
It's
the
proclamation.
proclamation. Mayor, I move that we, set proclamation number
2019-673.
273.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
But it is, sorry. On, in the packet, it is listed as a resolution.
So it's really a resolution,
I was gonna say,
Do it a proclamation, so.
and we can never.
That's a resolution, we proclamation, yeah. Okay. So, it's unanimous, go ahead and finish up with what we've got going on.
So, we, received today from the state forester, who, does, the Tree City, program. He presented us a flag today, 20 years. We've been involved in the Tree City USA program. We'll never catch, the city, Murray and Sandy is 40 years plus. So we'll never catch them, but, Scott Ziegler was at our shops today, and he's actually asking to host this event. They have a recognition at our facility next year. Along with that, he has given us a, little plaque, whatever, and then a pin for each one for Tree City USA.
Wow, thank you.
This, award, Tim puts a lot of effort into doing an application for us, and Mark tracks it. We have to do so many hours of work with trees, plant so many more, and so forth and so on. So, it's quite a large commitment, so we have, made that commitment for the last 20 years and have proceeded with it. So, I'd like to explain to you how we come about our Arbor Day recognition. We talked a little bit about it last fall. Mr. Greg Harris asked to be excused tonight, or he would be here. That he's the one that instigated it. Last fall, he began working with myself and Mark with the possibility of planting some trees in Mills Park in recognition of his son and a friend whose family also lived near Mills Park. Both of these boys had taken their own lives. As they planned, or as he planned and progressed, he made a ground monument in honor that will be placed in a small grove of trees. And I think it's in your packet. It'd be nice to
We have the-
show that. So, Blake and Ethan, two little boys that played in this park. This grove is to remember all their souls. They did not survive our nation's suicide crisis. So, Mr. Harrison has purchased this on his own. And, we have set the dates of April 25th and 26th to plant them trees. There will be a small grove planted, behind the, new bathrooms and the baseball diamonds. There's an area right there that, will plan to grow the trees, and then there will be a series of trees planted along the soccer field to be able to provide shade for the spectators, since these boys play soccer in those parks. Mr. Harrison asked me today to present you a check for a donation of this project.
For $2,000.
And I wish to thank Mr. Harrison, and I express that to him today for this project and his interest in the community. He borders the north side of Mills Park, and this other family, borders basically on the south side of Mills Park. And so this will be a good asset for our community and park.
You mentioned 15 trees, is that the same 15 of the grove, is that what you're?
So the grove, I can't remember if the grove's 8 or 7, and I think there is a cobra tree, and the ones that line the soccer field on the south side are going to be honey oaks.
What do those trees look like in 30 years? I mean, we have the big cottonwoods and whatever that we're having trouble with, are these gonna be good shade trees?
Yeah, we've already planted some honey locusts down there with some of the cottonwoods we took, so we're kind of lining both sides of the field with honey locusts.
So if you come into my neighborhood on my street, my street's lined with honey locusts on both sides.
Yeah.
They've been there 20 years, almost 20 years this year, and they're pretty good sized trees. And it provides a lot of shade during the summer.
And the Delcova tree, if you drive down 1500 south, almost to the church at 1500 west, on the south side of the road, along the park strip, they look like a vase. They're a fairly nice tree, so that's what's showing. We have very few trees that do very well down in Woods Cross, and those two trees do well. So with that,
Well, thank you for working with Mr. Harrison on that, and I think this will be a great place for them to find peace and then other families in our.
yeah, they're actually, going to have a family get together with friends and stuff on Saturday after the road was taken care of, and we were
Well, the council will be in St. George during those days, but please let them know we would be there, because definitely have been there.
So how big are the trees when they get planted?
they're 2-inch caliper, so you didn't go turn the water on, did you? They got a ball about this, I said that because we stacked them on one of their water houses. But they're a ball this big, and they're probably about, 12 to 15 feet tall right now, it looks like to me. So they're a pretty good size tree already, but they're minimum 2-inch caliper.
Yeah, ours have been in we're the same, they're 2-inch caliper trees, they've been in almost 20 years now. And I've got, two of the trunks are probably this big around, they're pretty good sized trees.
The honey locust is a nice tree, it provides good shade in summer, but in the fall, it has a lot of little leaves, and so we don't have a lot of big leaves to shade. And the Delcova is not a real big leaf tree. They get, 35 to 40 feet tall, usually, at maturity.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Look forward to that. Okay, item number 9, public hearing, rezone of 5 acres located approximately 1400 west, 1500 south, from A1 agriculture to R1 single family. Tim, do you wanna?
I will. Nat, do you want to switch to the tools? All right, we have a few property owners and developers they're working with that have made applications to rezone, a few properties, on 1500 south and approximately, 1400 west on the north side. Those properties are presently, A1 agriculture, and they're requesting that they be rezoned to R1A, single-family residential. As you can see here, much of the adjacent zoning is now R18 on its north, west, and south side across the street. As you may recall, as we were finishing up this a few months ago, our general plan update, this was one of, I think, the last area we really discussed in some detail. There's a planning commission recommendation. They had recommended approval of the general plan update, but for this particular area of A1 or agricultural zoning, they put in a recommendation that it could possibly be higher densities and multifamily housing within that. In the end, after kind of a lengthy work session between the two bodies, the council adopted the new general plan update. So you modified that and had placed in the plan that subject properties here and the rest of that agricultural area would become, could become single-family residential and have the same nature and that as the surrounding existing residential with that. So the Planning Commission, they've reviewed this application and request, and they have forwarded a recommendation to the City Council to approve the rezone based on the fact that it does comply with our general plan and the adjoining R18 zones.
And is it just that property there in red, circled?
Yeah, it's outlined in the red there. Yeah, the red.
Can you pull up the sample, the draft of the?
Oh, yeah, the other thing they've made application for, and the staff, reviewing that with them, is a preliminary plat, that would go to the planning commission probably here in the near future for consideration. This plat covers that subject, rezone request area, and, I think they would be, bringing the street in, off of 1500 south, and then, stubbing it over, to the east, should there ever be any interest, in the future of, developing properties, east of this area. So these, lots, as I recall, many of them are over 8,000 square feet, some much larger. In fact, one of them initially may be upwards of an acre in size. There at 1500 south, that could possibly be subdivided, the plat amended at some future date, and perhaps a couple more lots come out of that. And so this is what they're working with, at least on a preliminary basis, to get refined and take to the planning commission should the rezone be approved.
Is there currently a home on one of these lots?
No, no, this is
It's just all,
vacant.
There used to be a little corral and some little shed structures, but it's all, so.
oh, is this
it's
the
all
Davies
off.
property? Oh, okay. I thought there was next.
Yeah, if you go back, I think the Staleys are over here, and, the roughs on the parcel on the east side of the east street.
What is the big yellow spot in the middle of it?
I think they've, formerly had some horses out there. I don't know if there's a little sprinkler pivot or something there that probably created that coloration or something.
Or another one of our sinkholes?
Well, I don't know. That's one of the things they will need to do as they move to a final plat of this, is not only do a geotechnical study, but an in-depth, more in-depth geologic investigation to, see if there are any hazards, like that in the boundaries of their subdivision.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Any questions for Tim before we open for public comment?
I just had a question. I know we've discussed this quite a bit. We don't quite have our new ordinances in place regarding density and so forth, following up. And I know it's really great to have a sample of what they want to do, but I just want to make it understood that sample is not what has to happen. And so that's scaring me a little bit. That we haven't got the density in the R1 and the changes made.
Well, it has to comply with the R1.
That's right, the R1A.
Yeah, I'd like to see a
But
larger lot.
I think that we had discussed some of that, earlier, and where are we with those changes and so forth?
Well, we're going to be putting together an RFP and then going out, and I think that you'll see in your budget coming up, for this coming year, there's going to be some money set aside to work with the consultant to help us, put together and rewrite our entire zoning ordinance, so.
I'd like to see the R110s and R112s added.
I just understood that that's a nice sample, and I don't want to keep anything doing it, that's what they're doing. But the reality is that will keep.
Yeah, and actually, many of the lots they're showing are larger than
Yeah.
some of these other
They'll
lots
say-
around.
Yeah.
The key that we have, if we rezone it to R1A, they have to comply with our existing R1A.
I understand, I'm not deaf, I understand
I
very
know,
well.
so,
We just like to see bigger lots and bigger homes.
yeah,
Because a lot of them are 0.20.
they all comply with our ordinance, so which is what we have right
Yeah,
now.
well, we've been, 18 months down the road now trying to get, over a year late on our general plan in our discussion with that. Now we're about for an RFP, I think it's fine. And we're gonna be downloading this and the ordinances will have, no avail because we'll be done. So I'm just, this is disappointing, we're not further along the line,
Okay, thank you for those comments. We'll now open this up to a public hearing. So if there's any members of the public that would like to comment on this request for rezone from, A1 agriculture to R1A for this specific piece of property, please step forward. Now would be your time, Laura.
So, what is R1A? What does that mean?
So that's a minimum of 8,000 square foot lots.
And what is an 8,000 square foot lot? Quarter?
Less than a quarter acre.
It's like 0.18.
It would be similar to the other lots and subdivisions that are immediately around it here, R1A.
They don't have to,
Pretty
because
much
this side of the
80
street
or
does not have
90%
any
of our
small
city.
lots on it.
Yeah, pretty much 80 or 90% of our residential neighborhoods are in your R1.
It's pretty much what's in this
So it would be similar to your lot, my lot. June's lot's a little bit bigger.
My lot's
My
are.
lot's bigger.
Yeah,
I'd like
it just
Tammy
means
and
they
I'd
can't
like
build a
to see
lot smaller than 8,000,
a bigger lot.
but they can build larger ones.
Because I just need to see them take this 4 acres and put 13 homes on 4 acres. Because there's 1 acre taken out for one person.
That's
So
one of
really
the
you're
property
putting,
owners.
so really you're putting 13 homes on 4 acres. That's pretty small. That's pretty crammed in there. That's a lot of traffic and in a very small area. A tight area. So, I would like to, I don't know if it's a done deal, I don't know, whatever, but request that they have to have a little bigger lot. This is an agricultural area that they're being granted residential. That side of the street are big lots. They go from the street clear back to Never Land on some of them, and now they're taking that and putting in homes that are really on the opposite side of the street. So aesthetically, those are all the same. Now you're throwing some.
Well, and homes to the west and homes to the north, those are all R1A, zoning also. And so it conforms with what's around it. And the way that
is, as a property owner, you have a right to develop your property. And as long as it conforms with what is in the general plan and requests a rezone, then the city doesn't have any reason not to grant that rezone. This is master plan for R18. It's a process that we went through here a few months ago as we finished up the master plan. And that was, larger lots than what had been proposed, and single family, as opposed to what had been proposed by the planning commission. The planning commission would suggest that maybe this could be, more dense, multi-family or something like that in this pocket. And that was something that personally I pushed back against and said, I think that it should at least conform with what's around it right there. It's already surrounded by R18. At a minimum, we should have R18. So it conforms with what is in the master plan for that area. And so, I mean, it's a public hearing, and we'll listen to the comments. My view would be that as long as they're conforming with what the master plan is, that I don't have any reason that I would vote against it. If we do that, then we open ourselves up for a lawsuit, because they're meeting all the requirements of the property owner that have put on them. And for the city to say no would be putting us,
So basically, you don't have an option, you have to zone it R1.
if they were to come in and say, we'd like to have it zoned R110, we could look at R110, but R18 would be the minimum zoning that could go there.
That's unfortunate,
It's,
because they're too small.
well,
You know, like,
if you look,
and now I guess I'm just looking at Woods Cross is going from a nice little community, you know, we're gonna be crazy. The roads are gonna be crazy and everything, and we're just packing them in. And so that's why, there's the traffic.
tell me where your house is.
Oh, I'm on the other side of the freeway. I'm not
So north of Wildcat Way,
Yeah, I'm not.
up in the Blankenship's neighborhood,
Yep.
up in that neighborhood. Okay, so,
Yeah.
so most of the lots in your neighborhood, it's also zoned R18. So 50 years ago, if the city had said, no, Woods Cross is agricultural, your home wouldn't be there, and my home wouldn't be there, and this would all still be fields. And the property owners came in, and the city council at the time decided that they would change some zoning and encourage some additional residential growth. When we moved here 20 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot west of 1100 West. There was the little strip of condos and homes down 1900, but there was nothing west of Mills Park, except for, well, nothing west of Mills Park. On the north side of Mills Park, there was the Galunas home and the Liston home or whatever is next to it. Other than that, there was nothing down there. So my home wouldn't be there, and I wouldn't be living in Woods Cross. Had someone come in and said, we just want larger lots, and you're taking an area that's 40 acres of agricultural, and you're gonna put 300 homes in it. So, there's a balance. As a property owner, you have the right to develop your property if it meets the requirements that the city puts on it. The time to come in and say this, and I'm not saying this to be rude or to be adversarial, but the time to come in and say it was when we were doing the general plan, because that is the document that guides development in our city. And so we can change that in the future. It gets redone about every 10 years, but we went through open houses and comment periods and surveys and all kinds of things.
Because they put those things in the newsletter instead of on a.
I think they probably did put in the newsletter about open houses for the general plan. There were a couple of work sessions, there were open houses with our engineering firm, with the consultants and everyone else talking about those things. So, if they've been through the process, it's what's approved in the area. And so I mean, I'm okay with it. If I wasn't okay with it at this point, my hands are somewhat tied. If they come in and request an R18 rezone, if I say no, then I'm just setting the city up for a lawsuit.
And the thing that I want to point out on these, on these homes, on these lot sizes that are in here, there's not one lot size in there that's 8,000 square feet. All of them, there's like 3 or 4 of them that are 9,000, but most of them are between 10, 11, 12, 12,000 square feet. There's one that's 22,000 square feet.
And it's proposed, it's not, they're not presenting that for approval tonight, there's a whole other process that they come in to subdivide it and to do all of those things. So.
All right, well, I hope they go through a bigger lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate your concern.
It's a done deal, and I might come into the game again, but, I didn't see the sign, after the fact, so.
I do appreciate your concern, and, you know, I mean, let your voice be heard for other things, because there's still other areas of the city that will develop. We're starting to get a little slim on future development. But the master plan is in place, but it's never something that can't be changed. If there were to be enough support from the community, it's something that we reopen up and we amend, and we can change. So.
Are the townhomes approved?
The townhomes right just to the south of your neighborhood,
Yes.
the first section of those are approved.
On the north side of the road.
But the south side is not approved.
Correct.
And we appreciate you coming, because
We
usually when we have
certainly
public hearings, we don't have anyone come. So,
And I
it's
got any
nice.
more attendance because all of a sudden, what's going crazy in our kids and, and because they go in there, my neighborhood is gonna be crazy with traffic.
Yeah.
I will go get on my
it's a
driveway,
friendly road,
it's gonna be a thing where, some roads need to be closed or something, because we will have so much congestion with the townhomes, with the apartments, and high school kids trying to find a new way to get around the mess, that we're no longer a nice little subdivision. We're a highway.
And we appreciate your comment, and, don't think that it's falling on deaf ears. But we do appreciate it. Last week I went to a presentation, a meeting from the Olene Walker, Institute up at Weaver State, and they talked about housing and the future of housing in Utah. And in the next 20 to 40 years, Utah's gonna double in population. And if we continue to do half-acre lots, there will be no land that will be able to be developed. All it will be is sprawl everywhere. There will be no open space. Because, and my kids won't have any place to live, and my grandkids won't have any place to live, because there's only so much land left in Utah. And the only way we're gonna solve that is to be a little more creative with what we're doing with subdivisions and lots, and because if not, we're gonna be out of land. All the new generation will have to move out, because there won't be any place else to build in Utah.
The old generation will be gone, so they can move into our home. By the time the grandkids get here,
Yes, no, 50 years ago maybe, but people are living a lot longer than they used to. And so it's a real problem. They've got this data and they've projected it out, and the cost of living right now in Utah, the numbers they were giving were, they put it on a scale, and we're at like a 4 or something like that, as far as the cost to be able to have a home. In San Francisco, they're at like a 50. And they're just saying that as we continue to grow at the growth rate we're going right now, if we continue to have lots and stuff the size that is traditional, the cost is gonna be so prohibitive, people won't be able to afford anything, and we really truly will be out of land. And it's a concern.
And on the backside, we might be out of land, but can I get from point A to point B, because there's so many people? Now I can't go anywhere.
This is also a concern.
There has to be a balance somewhere where we can't, handicap what we're doing, our water, our utilities, our everything within what we've got. So I understand that people have to have homes, but we have to be able to live where we have a home.
I completely agree. So these are problems that need a solution.
And I've been in my house for 4 years. And I know that there was nobody down there and watched all those homes going and everything. I just, on that side of 1,500, and maybe eventually all those homes will sell their back, I don't know if they're landlocked or will sell their back properties, or that'll all go into homes, whatever, and then I guess it really won't.
That could very well happen, it'll be the next generation that does it, so.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. All right, thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Anyone else like to make comments?
I can just make a couple comments. I know Ryan, that you attended some of these, different housing conferences and so forth, and I do understand that. And I think, but what people understand that the doubling of the population is not sustainable with the water we have and water issues we have. And so it's interesting to me that we have conferences, but they're not holistic. They look at one thing and they kind of tell, they're trying to push that agenda. And I think we'd be careful because we have an issue here that we've never experienced in Utah in the past 50 years, and that's net immigration. That because of the economic development, because of friendly tax base, cheap power, which is going to go away, it's all coal-based, 93% of our power here in Utah is coal-based. But I certainly do realize that there's a lot of people that have a lot of agendas of development from interstate legislators, and, you know, that's the pushing it. And I think that we can be, and I agree with you, so Barbara has seen a sign about rezoning. We do that. Last Barbara makes a vote tonight, is to rezone. And so I think that the general plan is great to think, and we did a lot of advertising and a lot of public interest, but, you know, until you see that, you know, posted in your neighbor's yard that we're gonna rezone this from agriculture, it really doesn't hit home. And so, you know, did we do a good enough job in advertising the general plan and so forth? And there's a lot of public input, but I can feel very futile if you're trying to get public voice to an agenda that's already kind of being pushed, you know, by legislators and others. And I think that it behooves us to kind of maybe be a little, appreciative of this and look and understand what we are, what we do as council, and who we are, and why we have multiple steps along the way of changes, rezoning, and so forth, and you know, and not just take everything from those who have agendas to push. And you can say that these lot sizes are all about 75 feet, that's in this class, they're like 8,000, they get the extra couple of 1,000 or whatever, that was like 9, which is a D block, these are still D blocks. But the width is these are not 3-bedroom homes here, or 3-car garage homes, these will be all garage in front, and they're only 75 feet, which that's what my lot is, that's our rate on 75 feet lot. And that's kind of key, you know, and so I think and how that will look, you know, I don't go often through the neighborhood behind here, but what's kind of nice is the space between the homes, and I think what we're seeing here is that, yeah, they do meet the 8,000, but they're deep lots, they're not wide lots, and like I said, I'm, not that I'm writing it to Ryan, but I would hope that we all understand that we have a voice in their sales process. And so, we've been slow to make some changes, and I just re-express my disappointment. We put a moratorium on, we knew this was all coming, but I don't know, I'm writing policies and procedures like crazy in my job, and I know how difficult it is, but I just wish we would kind of along that process.
Also, you know, Barb approached me during the week and asked me, and she was under the impression that it would be 8 homes because of the way that notice was written, and you know, she's taken a picture of it and said, no, we're planning on putting 15 lots in. So, you know, we just need to, I go with him, that we need to be not attacking our residents when they do show up, to express their concerns, whether, you know, they're too late or whatever, they still deserve to be heard. And I also agree, you know, Tammy and I brought up during the whole general plan that we'd like to see some R110 and R112 areas put in to that general plan, and it didn't happen. And the comment was, well, we don't have it. Well, we can make them. We just need to get off our butts and do it. And, you know, Jim said 80 or 90% of Woods Cross is an R18. I think that's unacceptable for a city. We need to be more diverse in what we're offering, and we need to have more variety, because right now we've got a lot of R18 homes, and a lot of them are stuck in a certain size home, where we do have a population who wants bigger homes. They want larger homes, and they want a little bit more land. And I think it would serve those future residents for us to look into that, and at least figure that out and make that an option.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Anybody else if not, then I will close the public hearing and we'll move on to item number 10. This would be to consider to adopt an ordinance to rezone property located at 1400 West, 1500 South from A1 agricultural to R18 single family. Ordinance number 592. I'll call for a motion.
Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number 2019-592.
Is there a year in front of our ordinance?
No.
Is there?
Right, and then
So I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, Wally?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'll say aye, just because it is conforms to our, we like the suggestions they brought forward, but, we really need to get all this changed.
Aye. Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, so it is now been rezoned to R18, and so we'll just let you go ahead and work through Tim and the planning commission on working through with your project plans and your plat approval, so, okay? We appreciate that. Item number 11, public hearing approval of Shamrock Glen subdivision phase 4, located at 2000 West, 2100 South. Tim, do you want to?
Yes, Development Associates, they've been working, through the development of their phases. We've been working for some time with the staff on, phase 4. Phase 4, really from, this area, the existing street just south of the, high school and would go all the way down to the, Legacy, Parkway. Legacy Parkway Trail. Pardon?
It's an elementary, not high school.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. This will consist of, 34 lots. It will also have an open area that will also function as a storm detention basin, also with a walkway connection from the neighborhood to the Legacy, trail system, at that point, in the southwest corner of this property. One of the issues that has been worked on for quite a while by the staff and later by the planning commission is the developers' engineers were challenged in this corner of the subdivision with regard to getting utilities, gravity utilities to function. As such, they will be building up this area and these lots a few feet. Some of these lots in this area may be as much as 6 feet higher than the area is presently. Planning Commission, they had quite a lengthy discussion on this. In fact, they tabled it in one of their meetings, and asked that Greg Senior, our city engineer from JUB, attend and discuss this in some detail and the engineering behind it that he's reviewed. In fact, he's with us tonight to do the same thing he did with the Planning Commission on this issue, because I'm sure that there'll be some questions regarding that. And in fact, as kind of an outcome of that review, it was determined that to better facilitate drainage for these lots, and Greg can go into more detail on this, there'll be a storm drain line with inlet boxes that will pick up water take it to the public, proposed, public storm drain. There was some discussion on the capacity of that pipe. After further review, since the planning commission meeting, it was determined that, that would need to be a minimum of a 10-inch line, and that, the homes, themselves, or their downspouts should drain, will need to drain, forward towards the street. And again, Greg, in his presentation, can give you some further information on that. So in the second, planning commission meeting, with a more thorough review of that concern, the planning commission forwarded to the city council a recommendation to approve the phase 4 Shamrock, final plat. The conditions they put on there, had been resolved in terms of the, engineering red lines and also the pipe capacity. And so I'll turn it back to you, and, we also have Greg here, if you wanted to,
Yeah, Greg, if you wanna explain some of those things to us and the public, and then we can open it up for comment.
Tim, you wanna go a couple more screens forward to the aerial? Okay, this aerial view right here shows the area that's being developed, kind of orange or stuff there. There's this profile that I'm going to show you here in just a second. Start about 400 feet west of Legacy Highway to east through the development. All this kind of plays into the elevation of those lots. When Legacy Highway was built, UDOT just put a pipe, 24-inch pipe, and threw it in a ditch, and then built the road over the top of that. And so that pipe on the ditch determined the elevation of our storm drainage facility to the last point. Further to the south of Valentine, the city had a deeper pipe, and we wanted to daylight that and run it all the way towards Braddock drain down. We went 3,600 feet with that a few years ago. I'm not sure if you remember that. This one here, daylight's only 400 feet, so it's quite a bit shallower. There's no way of making it deeper without having to drill underneath Legacy Highway again. So, Tim, move up to, the profile of the other one. There you go. So that purple line there on the left-hand side is where that storm drain pipe daylights out there. Nature conservancy property. Comes up to Legacy Highway where the purple turns to a white to the existing culvert, and then it continues on east. The road elevation are determined by three things. Number one, the storm drain pipe is there. The second thing that determines the elevation of the road, that orange rectangle there is actually a representation of the gas plant that was put in Mountain View Boulevard, under Mountain View Boulevard. Well, it was put in Mountain View Boulevard, was built on top of it. So that determined the elevation of Mountain View Boulevard. So the other utilities are on top of that, the road is there. Well, right now, that gas main has been relocated down to like a trail. The gas company is in favor of just removing that. I think it's very nice for us. However, Mountain View Boulevard is already built on the south and it's already built on the north. And so we have to connect the dots. So the elevations are determined based on that. And then the third issue that we're kind of looking at is the sewer. You see that green line down there. The existing sewer is there on the Legacy Trail, and the sewer main has to go in at its minimum slope. So a lot of the elevations are determined based on that. So those three things thrown into the hopper, then you look at the lot, and as Tim mentioned, there's about 5 or 6 lots that are about 6 feet above the existing elevation. The planning commission saw this, they were very concerned because, you know, here you got these homes that are almost overlooking the backyard at the same elevation that we were spent. There were those concerns. There isn't a whole lot to do to mitigate that. I guess you could put in a storm drain and pipe it further across the wetland. Or one option we discussed was possibly making that road at something less than our minimum slope, 0.5%. And it's problematic if it's less than that, you get a lot of puddles. problems with that. So we are requiring that those lots drain as much as possible from the street, but there is a section 25 feet, the very back of the lot is drained down to the lot line. All that area is landscaped, so has minimal runoff, but with that in mind, we decided that we would put in a 10-inch land drain, yard drain, is what we call it. That 10-inch yard drain is, big enough to handle that area, that landscape area, and run to the west. We took a look at some of the downspouts coming off the roofs, and it's not big enough to handle that in a 100-year storm. We won't be able to have that, so they will be required to drain those roofs. One discussion was, here we are looking down at neighbors' backyards, out in the flat part of Woods Cross, that usually doesn't happen, that you get up and down from other places. It is not uncommon to see your neighbor's backyard and so forth. I'm not sure how to mitigate that. So that's, basically my report to the reasons why it is what it is.
So you're saying their downspouts from the house will have to go out, be brought out to the street? Okay, and that will be required as they build?
But let me rephrase that. The downspouts have to be placed such that any water that comes out drains to the street. They won't necessarily pipe to the street. But they land on the driveway and flow to the street, that's what they do.
So if you try to visualize that, the majority of these lots will be sloped and drained towards the street. It's the last 25 feet approximately, that will then begin to slope down to the south property line, across their backyard. So it's that area, essentially from the back of the house to the property line, that will be coming back to the south.
And so we're gonna put a drain.
Right, yeah.
Because my friend lives in Far Meadows, and she's on the corner of 13 South and 1,000 West. And her backyard is like a swamp, because the neighbors is a little bit higher, and their runoff goes into hers, and hers doesn't completely run off into the street. So I want, is that what we're gonna be looking at?
We had that problem in Valentine Estates a few years ago. And the solution there was to do what we're doing here, we're putting a pipe there.
Okay.
But every corner of every double lot, basically there'll be a catch basin.
Okay.
So, and because part of the runoff from Valentine's can go this way too. And
Yeah.
that's going down, it goes down into, into the catch basin, out the storm drain at the bottom.
Okay.
So that's the reason they kind of had to build it up, so that slope will flow the whole way down. And that was a thing that I was pushing to quietly, I mean, it's not my meeting, but to make sure that at least a 10-inch line, because if there's dirt in there or something, you don't want those getting filled, and that will be one of the HOA's responsibilities, to keep that drain open.
Okay. That
So
was my next
so
question.
it doesn't, you're to run off these guys into the Valentine property, because they're already sloping a little bit that way. So the idea is that it
The building and then go out.
So will each lot have a grade for that?
And actually, every other lot will have a grade of
And
lots on
why not each lot?
That's what they propose, when you look at 75 feet of 25-foot width, it's not a whole lot of area. It could be done, but there's just not a whole lot of drainage to go into that.
These are back lots.
Yeah.
Typically, I assume that they're going to be landscaping them, because usually those back lots not landscaped, we do it. And so I was just, but if there happens to be settlement in the future, or so on and so forth, which there always is, if you didn't have an access to that drain on your property, then you gotta, work with your neighbor to ensure that you get it, or if your neighbor decides to shed the back and, wants to throw something up, float or not, I mean, those are all things that can come up after that. And so if you didn't have access, your own access to the drain, it might be, problematic.
The details they show on the plan is actually fairly simple, it's just a panel, teeth, goes up to ground.
Yeah.
It's a we didn't consider it because the backyard is a drainage basin. And so what runs off of one yard drains to the next yard and we.
Oh, I know.
But it could be done.
Yeah, I know, but the little bit of drainage that I was in doesn't work, it ran the wrong place, that's my own thing is that I'm draining probably too long. And I just know that it gets puddled up, and so if I didn't have access on my lot, my neighbor put in, a shed, which is causing some problems, more drainage problems. And one guy's got a court there, and so, there's all sorts of issues, and I think it should, I would hope that everyone has access to that drain, so they can, facilitate that drainage on their own property.
There's one other exhibit that can show, just show that one really quick,
And minutes is much, I mean, you're talking a little, a little green.
Right.
Drain thing's probably
4 inches.
4 inches, I've got a pop-up that goes through to my front yard, but
And this, the details call for 12 by 12.
12 by 12, just, yeah, I don't know, if it was me, I wish I'd have access to that, so I can do whatever, if there's stuff, I can facilitate that, get to that spot.
Yeah, and you can see in that little, that cross section there, there's that little depiction of what that might be.
Yeah. And so that's their, that's the bucket, and you only got 25 feet from the one.
Yeah,
to the other.
and it's 4 to 1 slope.
We want the patios, and what, the deck, Gelson's going to go back.
Any other questions?
I just had a question that never really thought much about. This is phase 4. We're gonna be phase 8, where we're gonna be over again the Ivory Home. I mean, does the rest of the project flow? Are we going to run into another situation that, well, we need to build up this side so the water now comes back to the middle, or do we have any idea because I'm not a real big fan that these guys are higher than their neighbors, how many different times in the project do they have to manipulate something to make water flow? Because I understand gravity, you have to have slope on different things. Is that going to happen throughout this whole project? Have we looked at the bigger picture, or are we just dealing with the case by case?
The answer is, boy, it'd be nice to be able to engineer it all the way to this level at a preliminary plat phase. But we do know that just a few hundred feet west of, 1955 west, all of that area drains toward the White City Trail and ultimately to the phases we're doing. Everything east of that line drains up towards the A1 drain. And so, yeah, we take a look at each plat and try to make sure that it does, but the overall scheme, the overall drainage study, it showed this portion going that way, this portion going this way. And, so until we get into the actual details, to an extent, difficult to.
Right. I'm just a little bit concerned that the next phase has something even more quirky, and then more quirky, and then more quirky that eventually, over there, again, your neighborhood, and we're up 15 feet dropping off to get there because they had to build it up because each process got further as we went. I'm a little nervous of keep only approving these kind of one at a time without kind of a master plan of, they obviously kind of had a master plan of where they want to drain and where the roads would be. I'd be curious to know if there's any large elevation changes in
I don't
any
think
of
that's
that
gonna be
area.
any big surprise.
Most of your house, other house.
Phase 3 to phase 4.
The developer had to make sure the sewer would work for
Right.
the entire subdivision. He had to make sure that the storm drainage would work for the entire subdivision. The roads have to all flow down to the west. So, no, we're not gonna have a 15-foot surprise out there. Each lot has to drain at a 1% flow to the street. And so,
And
A lot of
most,
this is
yeah,
done already.
the lots on the south side of Ivory, none of them have a flat driveway. They've all got a fairly hardy slope on the drop, so the houses are already built up on the Ivory side, and then they have the water drain, the drain system. Ivory's already got the drain system around the homes that they have basins. But I think you're right, you only got 25 feet, and it depends on what that guy, puts in a full stick, a full patio, or wants this or that. And I just would, so I don't think there's gonna be that problem, when you get up against Ivory, because they're already built up, those houses are already built up. So, for the most part, and the ones down there in the A1, they're already built, so they're already done. So, this would be the only problem, but I would really encourage that we make sure that each lot has access to that drain, so they can do whatever manipulation they need to do.
I think that phase five is the big one, and we're in review of that right now, and there are some big surprises as far as drainage goes.
Would that only include the 12 lots that have that highlighted area that would need the individual drains?
No, we're having to put that individual drain all the way up the south edge up to,
I can't imagine another T on the top is, I can't do more than 55.
It will be more than that.
40, you're right.
Yeah.
That's frankly, it's not enough to, I kinda like the idea that, because there is somebody that's gonna have something down in that corner, they did something, I live on the sound wall, and whatever my neighbor does affects trying to do that, and then I've been flooded many a time. So I understand, I like that idea that we put that as a requirement, that each property has some sort of access. This drain is also gonna be used by Valentine too, though, wouldn't it?
The water.
Just the water.
Their detail actually shows some type of a berm. It's not really tall, 6 to 12 inches, if I remember, right close to, you don't have the construction drawings, but it's right close to the fence line, property line. So their intent is to not have the shamrock tank, the Valentine, but by the same token, that same wall inhibits the Valentine tank, so it's this. We can only make them handle their property, but if you get a big enough event, it will drain over there. Or somebody will breach the little dyking will.
Yeah, none of those homes have fences. So I don't know.
Ones that are there right now.
The ones that are there right now for Valentine, yeah.
There's a few that do.
But most of those are open set field, they've been mowing it for 6 feet beyond, the property line, and so this little berm is gonna be an issue for those.
Shouldn't be an issue, it's not on their property.
Well, it's that the water's already drained
Yeah.
into that empty lot, the water's already drained. And you could burn up and stop draining out there.
So any other questions for Greg? Okay, thank you, appreciate the explanation. Let's go ahead and open it up for public comment, if there's anyone that would like to, comment on what we just discussed, please come forward.
My name,
Sure.
my name's Daniel Herzog, I'm actually with the developer, work there. It's just to address the drainage on the side there. There is a number of those openings, and they are managed, as Councilman Terry mentioned, by an HOA, who regularly will be visiting there, clearing it out, just like they do all the other stuff. So, instead of a neighbor having to talk to another neighbor, and what if that neighbor's gone? In the middle of a rainstorm, and that neighbor's in San Diego on vacation, that's not a concern. HOA is always available, always there to get down there and clean it out, and make sure the flow is constant and smooth. So,
And that's ideally,
well,
your HOA.
These are in everyone's locked backyard, that this isn't a public access area.
an HOA actually has authority to go in without approval, because that's part of the HOA.
But they're still needing to figure out what to do with the dog, what to do with, all that, I mean, it will be very, I don't see the HOA jumping in a rainstorm to get down and do that.
In
theory,
part of their
they
maintenance, and in part of their maintenance, they do regularly check, so that shouldn't be an issue, or there shouldn't be an emergency aspect. And this is a 100-year storm side, which, I
It would
mean,
be
it's a
very
100-year.
rare that there's
Yeah.
water there,
Never an
because
issue.
most of these are gonna have grass. And one of the statutes to show that 90% of water absorbs in and never makes it to the bottom of the hill with grass. Where concrete, yes, will all run down. Very little will get here, but would you be willing to put in a drain on every property instead of a drain on every other property?
We can, I don't think I just think it's overkill at this point. We already, I mean, legitimately, an 8-inch pipe was accurate and fine and capable. However, we decided voluntarily bump it up to a 10. I think as a neighbor, I mean, it's just another place for my kids to lose their toys. And another place, I mean, I think it can be more difficult than it's worth, having. It also adds for more sediment, possibly another issue that we looked at, so. Yeah, I mean, we would be willing to, if it was required. I just feel like it's a little bit overkill and can cause more problems than it's worth.
Well, your kids should be losing those, I don't know if you've seen the grades, I mean, I've got a couple in my yard, you know, they're pretty small, we've got pretty small boys to get in there. So, but I think, we're not worried about 100-year storm, I'm really not worried about it. It's the everyday watering, and the changing of the landscape from backyard to backyard. And, you know, everybody loves their HOA, but we've had 10 different HOAs where I'm at, you know, and you can never get them on the phone when you want. That's ideal, but it's not realistic. If I hire someone, you know what, it's not warm fuzzy feeling, okay? I'd rather have a drain that I can control access.
And we're talking $700, I mean, it's not gonna put out the vote. But it will give us peace of mind as a council for those future residents, that they'll be able to take care of it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, I will close the public
I
hearing.
have a question, just, I know, we talked about how Lennar has taken over, you know, development of these lots. And I still have concern about that one, multi-generation house. Tim, is this something that Shamrock has any control over? Because I'd like that to get resolved.
I'm not sure what controls DAI has on it. We have had some further discussions with Mark Bell on that, and are looking at a recorded document that would, you know, make it clear to the developer, the owner, and future owner, to be recorded that it will function as a single family home.
Okay.
And Tim is holding up the certificate of occupancy on the house and all that stuff.
Okay, that's.
So that's the leverage we're using, and as Tim mentioned, we've got a document that we're going to have it signed, but also, we're gonna go in and clarify in our zoning ordinance some of those issues that deal with that. So we're gonna do two things to clarify that, and so I think we've got it handled pretty well.
Okay. I have a question, who does the four-way inspections on those homes? Is that our building inspector?
It is, Forsman Associates, our building inspector, will do that.
So have we talked to them about why they missed that? I mean, it's pretty obvious that, I mean, I'm not an inspector, and it looks like a duplex to me.
I had just a real short discussion with Dennis one day when he was in and out on it, but I might need to have a little more in-depth conversation.
Okay, because I think that's something that they should have picked up on in that inspection.
So I did have a good conversation with Tim, and there are people that are going to use that as intended. This is for the mother-in-law, which is
Right.
totally legal.
Yeah.
So I don't wanna say our building inspector missed it, because he's not finding two electrical panels and separate water lines and being built for a duplex. I think he did a good job of explaining that to the right person, this is a pretty good deal. If my parents move in with me, they have their own space, we can leave the door open. I can't sell that, I can't take my parents out and start renting that because of this agreement that we
Yeah.
have. So I was with you for quite a while, and I had a long talk with Tim on kind of the pros of this type of a house. I kind of like the idea if my kids wanted to come, they could have their space, I could have mine, it's still a single family
Well, I
residence.
just want it to be sold as that, as a single family, and that's very clear that,
And then they're promoting it as a multi-generation, single family, correct?
That's right. Yeah, in our discussions with them.
I think they can do a better job of making sure that they're not letting people know that, hey, here's a rental property investment option. And so I think they can do a better job, but I kind of like the idea of the house for the right situation.
right, if it works for someone, absolutely.
And you need to have this piece that, no, you can't start renting that out.
And that's all I want to make sure.
Right, so I think they're doing that, but I was pushing it in planning commission, that you did not wanna do this, but I think Ms. Bell worked out some stuff too, that tightens that up, that allows people to know that you're not going to fill off that wall and now it's two houses. So I think there's some things in place.
I mean, I can't sell my 401K and Airbnb going.
You can if you want.
Well, it's up to you.
Just make sure you pay your taxes.
And thank you for following up on that, and Gary, I appreciate you being proactive in getting that handled.
Any other comments? Okay, close the public hearing, and we'll move on to item number 12. Consideration to approve Shamrock Village subdivision phase 4, located at 2000 West, 2100 South, with the conditions that the planning commission has set forth.
And are we adding the condition of the grant every?
That depends on your motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the Shamrock subdivision phase 4, located at approximately 2000 West, 2100 South, with the conditions laid out by the planning commission, as well as the conditions laid out by the city council, to include a drain on each property.
And access to the.
And access to the drain, yeah.
And can you say an access to the drain in the lowest point of the property?
In the lowest point.
And I don't want it to be stupid, but I don't want somebody to say, I put the drain, I approved and I did what you requested and I put it up here on this corner. I mean, I think it's just safe to say the lowest point of your property is gonna drain out your drain.
Perfect, well, now that piggybacks on my motion.
So, Matt, second.
Go ahead.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, Matt?
Aye.
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 Okay. You're done, you're approved, thank you.
See you in a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, item 13, area safety accountability report.
During the month of March, we had no incidents. The incident that the chief mentioned actually happened in April, so we'll report that later.
I was gonna ask that, the dog bite is an incident.
Yeah, that's it.
And is the dog go as an incident?
We're happy to talk about that, because we may have to then add dogs to our team.
I suggest put him on Tim's team, and he wasn't for it.
Yeah, Tim kind of bogged that. We had quite a lengthy
He is
discussion about.
considered an officer, isn't he? He has a.
He's not paid to his volunteer. We just go buy the food, so I don't know.
But we're gonna have a future
Don't tell
discussion.
Leslie that.
So anyway, for the team competition score sheet for the first quarter of 2019, BS squared again comes out the winner. Zero points, and Team Scott at 2, and Matt at 8. Matt has kind of had a.
They should change their name.
Yeah.
They're not making America safe.
Well, they're working on it.
They can't wait till the start of the new fiscal year so that they can redraft. They get first choice if they have the vote.
Well, maybe that's what they're going for.
Every team has to make new people that they can't protect, but.
Yeah, we'll set up a little.
For professional soccer, I mean, the league, the two top teams have to go up.
These are restricted people.
Yeah, you have to go up, you have to go down.
Thank you, Clay.
So anyway, we're having a little fun with it, so we're moving forward, and, we appreciate Jason and his support, and the TAP award is a function of the work of all the departments that are involved, everyone's been involved, and we feel good about where we're at. This started years ago with Dave Hill, and gonna move forward, so that's all I got to report there, Mayor.
Okay, any questions for Gary? Move on to the last open session of the meeting. If anyone has any comments or any of our dialogue as per emotion or
Pat, you got
controversy.
All right.
Always.
So we got this one.
Well, actually, most of mine will be directed to you, Chief Bill, and over to Woods Cross.
Thank you.
Just know our plans are. I'm very scary, too scary. So, my first big complaint, and this is only a complaint, is, your email on the Woods Cross Police Department website. I've been told nobody pays attention to it because you get all kinds of junk mail in there.
The email or the response?
The email.
Okay, I'll try.
And so I'm wondering if that's the case, why is it even there for us to use?
Okay.
Okay?
I respond to one that I've got so far, so.
Actually, no. Because I sent one and I didn't get a response, so.
Okay.
I'll call you on it.
You might not be on the do not respond list.
Yeah.
He's got it.
I might need to check
Yours goes right through.
And usually at this time of the year, we have a shred fest and a drug take back. Are you gonna do that again this year?
Yes, we are.
Isn't it on Saturday?
Coming up on Saturday, we did 2 Saturdays, yeah, week from Saturday.
Week from Saturday.
18.
Okay, I guess I missed that.
Yeah,
I was
April
on the-
twenty-seventh.
That's on me.
I was on the newsletter that just came out with our utility bill.
Oh, okay, okay.
Start at 8 a.m.
Yeah, we'll.
Okay, perfect. And then, Mayor, this will go with your, Memorial Day thing. We're going to have a bike race, is that true, Matt? Okay, so what if, and I don't know if we can do this or not, but what if we have somebody set up to do bike registration, that we get serial numbers and so on and so forth, in the event of stolen property?
Sure. We will do that.
And I'll volunteer to help you if you need help with it, okay?
Registration, okay.
Okay. And then, at the top of my street, a couple of weeks ago, there was an incident, and I don't know what went on, but they had the dog out. They had at least 8 patrol cars there, they had Bountiful there, they had Davis County. It was a little nerve-wracking and a little scary, so I don't know if you can enlighten me.
Yeah, what's your?
Oh, I'm on 2250 South, I'm at 1387 West 2250 South, and I'm not 100% sure what those numbers are, but I think it's like 1325, 1425, something like that up there. So it was right there on the corner, it's a big blue house, it was on the market for probably 3 years, and then I know that there are multiple people living in there, I don't know how they're related. Then,
And what was the date?
it was on I believe a Saturday, and I don't know if the exact date, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Then I have one other question. What about reverse 911? Have we got that set up in our community yet?
Code red.
Code red.
Code red.
Code red?
Go ahead and register, and then if we put something out, it will come to your cell phone, home phone, email, depending on how you register.
Okay. So it's called Code Red.
And how to do that is also on that newsletter.
I don't
It's
have
on
the
the
email yet.
website, it's on the website.
It's
It's
on
on our
the
homepage,
website.
but.
It's on the website.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't pay to be signed up.
That's all I have for a change. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. Okay, anything from the council?
I have one thing, there is graffiti on the bridge on Highway 89, on the inside of the bridge, on the west side, is that the name of it?
One that comes over on the angle there.
Yeah.
The really tight one.
Yep, the tight bridge, there is some graffiti on the west side,
West side.
yeah.
We'll get on to that.
Okay, awesome. And then,
You said you had one.
Yeah.
well, I got two things and then I might have 18. I'll come up with more. With our park fund, I would like to look at putting rubber flooring in if we have extra funds for our park. For our playground. Because we get wood chip requests all the time, and I think if we can look at putting in the rubber flooring like Northwood Lake has in their park by the splash pad.
Not the chip stuff, but the.
No, just a solid, yeah, rubber floor. I'd like to look into that and see what the cost is, and,
Okay, we can have that as part of our budget discussion.
Yeah.
And if that's something you'd like to do, then we'll do it.
okay.
I'd like to probably do some research on the pros and cons of that type of material. Cause it's more expensive, but
It is,
is it
yeah.
worth it? Is it good? Cause I know for
If
one.
it falls down, what type of rubber do they use?
Well, and
Or if they get tackled?
the council, next before we're in St. George, there are a couple of companies who offer that, so if you have a chance, talk to them and see. I talked to some in September and I've been reading about it.
I know that I have the rubber mulch that you get out of hospital, in the little player that I have, a tower and a light kind thing. And it will give a little warm. It will give a little warm compared to the wood. But yeah, I'm with you, because, like the swing, underneath the swing sets and stuff, it gets so dug out, and I'm always trying to push it back when I'm putting little kids in the swing, so that they've got something to land on, so it's dug out to the ground. And so,
You just answered your own question.
well, I answered my own question, but I don't know.
You move things back underneath, so if they fall out, they have something.
Exactly, something land
Yeah,
on.
there's some plastic, rubber surface, it's not as soft as
Yeah,
chip or the rubber.
I haven't had one of them come out yet, but having the bad experience myself, on asphalt.
It's not very pretty.
It wasn't good. But anyway, yeah, we can look at it, but I do have one,
I'm done with it. Okay.
I don't.
2 of 18.
Well, I just need to shut up.
I'm not sure where I'm going with this, and I know maybe we can talk about it more,
Good, so you don't have anything.
I am concerned that we have hit the news with some very tragic events. Starting with the death over here at the hotel, the bike accident, legacy that landed there in our,
The airplane crash.
at the airplane crash, and now we have another suicide death.
I think the news was pretty good about not focusing on the fact that it was suicide. I think they referred to it as an accident.
Well, no, they later updated their article,
Yeah, they did.
and I posted all the suicide help information.
On the TV, not most, a lot of people don't read.
And how do you know the day of the plane crash, of course, I didn't know, it's called plane, mom, I'm like, no, they're shooting bullets if it happens, I don't know how you want to play plane. Work here, so, whatever, it was a lot of fun. So I don't know, I think it's just the news, or what can we do? I think we ought to maybe think about something, we've kind of been hit hard with when we tried news a lot. So what can we do to maybe message something a little better, a little positive? Because it all impacts, I think, what the city has. And we have officers that have dealt with all of these, quick turnaround. And, I'm concerned with that, not sure how we message something different, what do we do? Of course, Memorial Day will be an incredible, event, and our farmers markets and stuff like that, but I am a little, we've had a lot of that.
Message, I don't know if you read it or not. I
Yeah.
tried to highlight the Evans family and what transpired and dedicating them up to May to say it again, I think.
Neurofibromatosis and that, right?
Yeah, so,
We funding. We
Is there-
need some funding.
I mean, what type of media coverage do we try to pick up on Memorial Day? Is that?
They used to come out all the time, but we haven't had any for a long time.
But
so.
is that because we haven't invited them? You know?
They were here when Hatch talked, that was the last time they were here.
I just
Didn't work
wonder,
out well for.
I just don't know if there's a PR that we could do, even to encourage them that you're getting 3,000 people out for breakfast is unique. What we do for our Memorial Day is definitely a unique situation. It's obviously our biggest community event that we do every year. There's nothing that even comes close. So I don't know if there is any sort of PR that, because they always go around, look what's happening on this Memorial Day weekend. If we can find something to get out there, and hey, look what a great place to look across is, just let them see that.
So I think we just need to invite them. Put it out there.
Fox 13 used to be pretty regular, but they haven't been out for several years. So I think about the only one that's here is the Clipper uses some, where stuff, so that reaches that extent.
So is your concern, Danny, more internally or externally? How
A
people view
little
this,
bit, probably more externally.
how people outside view it?
I've been raised on our page, our community Facebook post, of course, was blown up with the death out there, emergency, but I think that there's, so, maybe I don't do my part, I don't post, a lot of stuff out there on social media, so, and, we've talked about this before about branding our city this home, and I mean, since I build, well, I'm okay with this single family homes actually being out there, but I mean, it's something that, our city's growing, it's growing well, but how do we get people to look at us as that hometown feel that we've always had? I don't know that we're losing it, but I just, my own perspective is, this bad news, that's bad news, that's bad news, it's about.
We'll put on our social media account the drug, take back day, shredding. We'll also.
And we got the fish day coming up, right, we're doing that.
Are we doing
We
fish
also.
with the con? In June, are you aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a big
You're
deal.
doing it whether you want.
It's on free fishing day.
It's the
So,
first Saturday.
maybe we ought to call up, and be a little more proactive of getting maybe the news out also to some of these.
Well, we can post it on our social media accounts. We won
Yeah.
2 armored doors in St. George at the Utah Chiefs Association. So they want us to put that on social media, which we will. Once we get those installed, we'll have a little show and tell thing, and put that on one of the new trucks that we just bought. So any positive stuff like that, we will put out, and we put out the golf tournament for the Davis County Academy today on Facebook. So things like that, we'll try to make sure we put out on our social media platforms, which, we have quite a following on that Facebook.
Yeah, so,
That'd be great.
so I guess, kind of from that point, I'm all in favor of supporting the farmer's market, and, maybe we gotta look at that a little differently for a little while, just to promote the city itself a little bit. And I don't know, just some ideas and some thoughts, to think about. Maybe put a little, look at us talking about the budget, what do we got, maybe we ought to set aside a little bit for a PR fund, and find people that help us out.
Well,
That's not
that's
not what I do.
We even have an Arts in the Park
Yeah,
website.
Yeah, so
And
bring that
shame on
together.
me, I'm not a social media guy, and, Walt's nephew, when he left for Florida, he was the one who was usually posting on there and taking control of it. He just signed over the administration to me and said, here you go. And there it is, there it sits.
What are we doing for our officers that have been on call and had to take them?
We haven't done anything yet, obviously, it's been all fresh, but there's certain things that we can do depending on, I don't know, the severity, I mean, you never know if they hold it in. So
Yeah.
I talked to all of them that were involved, and I was there yesterday, so, we can do a debriefing, we can do.
The city has the EAP.
EAP program, yeah, we can make that available.
And maybe just encourage them to reach out if,
Right.
people
When you encourage them to reach out, they will.
They won't, yeah.
So,
So we more have to be like, hey, we're having lunch, and we're gonna talk about this.
yeah,
Cause there's a tough guy.
I understand.
Yeah,
tough guy and tough gal.
tough gal, it doesn't bother me, but then at 3 in the morning, it's really bad.
And we talked about this revamping our website, and I apologize, I'm changing the subject to external looking rather than internal. I don't wanna, yeah, I do feel concerned for our officers and what they're doing joining up with that discussion. But maybe we gotta have someone, doing the revamping the website, doing a little more PR work. Maybe threw a little money at it, maybe we could get something going. I don't know if you took over our war newsletter, it's been incredible, and it's every print, the guys, social media, Facebook, Twitter, I mean, he's going down with it, but anyway, I'm sure there's lots of talent out there that can, maybe we could.
If any of you remember 2 years ago, down at the conference, they had the Sandy City guy. That was probably one of my favorite classes there. So they took some unique situation and animated the mayor, made him a character and all that.
We were gonna do where to spot, right?
Yeah.
Spot.
But I agree that maybe if we're starting to do all this tech stuff, that may be somewhere we wanna look at in PR. Somebody needs to be part of getting it on the website, personally contacting the media saying, hey, we got something unique here, come visit us for a little bit, and to give us 30 seconds slot, that's good PR.
What about looking at an intern program?
Do that?
No, we can look out there, we'll be hiring Marty to replace him. Maybe whoever we hire, maybe that's one of the skills we can look for.
That's a real crossover though, between treasurer and accounting personnel.
Hey.
Hey, yeah. I recognize the need, but I'm glad to do it.
Yeah, Ryan kind of took a bit. Well, we discussed that in our budget session. It's kind of got money behind it.
And somebody that, maybe 10 hours a month is their assignment to work on PR.
I don't have to do this, so marketing intern, we want to call it, over the summer.
Or into the fall, I mean, just a year, certain years, I don't know, do something.
Okay, Ryan, you have.
Yeah, first, 6:25 a.m. this morning on most Tuesdays, got that lovely garbage truck that comes in the church behind my house.
Do I have to solve that one?
LeGrand, 6:25 a.m. Tuesday morning. The church right behind my house, that garbage truck comes in there and turns his backup alarm on.
Who's the bishop?
The garbage truck.
Who's the bishop?
This is gonna be better coming to me, is actually found over the FM with the whole building, me working with Lionel. He contracted with them. I mean,
I don't know, anyway.
Let me.
The Cloverdale building.
Right.
6:25 a.m., my window's right there.
On Tuesday.
I get an elbow.
Garbage truck here, because you're a council member.
And technically they can't be there until.
The elbow is not in the garbage truck.
8 minutes, yeah.
They need to slow it down a half hour. Lionel is actually very proactive and stuff. Let me work with him. I'll give him a call in the morning and just say, hey, you need to work with the contract, and that does apply.
Okay. Then my other one, I know we've got a lot of water. On 1100 West, there's a couple of spots where we're getting some real big bubbles that go clear out into the road.
We're out on the road.
North, where we approved the improvements for the one that's kind of up the hill back behind where Boss Trees are Service used to be, the one where they were gonna cut in the right surface part of that lot. Yeah, close towards Fifth South, that one, there's a hole there that they filled, but that one ends up coming clear out into the road. And then on my way up here tonight, on 1100 West, if you come out 1900 south, coming up, and then come north, there's the old home, on the right there, and then there's a bunch of vacant property towards the wood plant. There's the sidewalk ends north of that old home where those three new homes are. Between there and where the wood preserve is plant, there was one that came probably 3/4 of the way across the road that was probably this deep. And so something's happening there where it's not draining.
It's fun to drive through.
So unless you're the person walking along.
I know, I thought about that the other day when I drove through it, I'm like, I sure hope no one's watching. So you can hit them with your water?
Those are my items.
Anybody else for open session?
I got it, and just a reminder, tomorrow night, 6:30 in the multi-purpose room, there's a community workshop, the second one, and we're working through the rail station area plan. There'll be 3 scenarios presented during that for comment. And some of it's pretty interesting, so if you have time tomorrow night, 6:30, come on by and participate in that.
Do you think the residents will be all right? Be happy?
I don't know, there might be a few things in a few of these scenarios that I think they may have some comment.
The sniper in the clock tower.
In Squat Tower?
They wanted the old west shelter to do the clock tower.
Yeah, I would probably turn that in the first one.
Well, the first one, was really good, we filled the room up and all the tables, there, it was really well attended.
6:30 until when?
Till 8:30.
And a couple of hours, or?
Yeah.
Is that more of an open house?
Or should you really be here at the beginning and go through it?
No, you'll want to be here at the beginning because there'll be a presentation of these 3 scenarios. And then they'll have some tabletop time with some maps and some of these scenarios, where people can draw and comment on those, and that. So yeah, it's a process. You want to be here at the beginning.
Okay.
That reminds me, Chief, there's a suitcase on my property. Yeah, I wanna go look at it, I think it might be a body, but.
Let's not put that on social media.
It's right across from, it's next to that rental place by our R&B's. We have that little half acre by the UTA. So their company was telling me, they're.
Across the street from RV, from
From ours. And I said, well, I asked the guy, cause he saw it, he's like, it just looks weird, I said, well, did you open it? He's like, no. Huh.
Yeah.
You guys want to know? There was a bike. There was a bike in the ditch by the overflow parking at UTA, we called dispatch, but no one showed up, so I don't know if it's still there, I haven't walked over there, but.
So it's okay, kind of,
And so that's in another place, that's on the west side of the parking lot, of the overflow parking. It looks like it's been taken apart for parts and then the rest is just.
that blue sailboat still there.
I don't know, I didn't see it, it's still there. Is it little?
Were they in it and using it?
They were waiting.
Hey, no.
They're just prepared, look pretty good.
Anyway, someone's bored and they want to go check it out.
Okay, check on it tomorrow.
Fire a couple of rounds into it before it.
You're more than welcome. I just, after the CPA class and the homicide night, when the guy shared the suitcase story, I don't look at luggage the same way.
Okay, we're done with open session.
Are you sure?
Wait.
Amen. I asked Maureen, but in
correct Wasatch integrated. Gives you some details about the transfer station, the mixed waste processing facility. We don't need to go over that, but just a couple of items to keep in mind as, the approach to the expiration of our contract. On that side, what about my recycling can, they want from another transfer station, mixed waste processing facility there. Wasatch Integrated will take that can at no cost. Right now, we're paying waste management $45 a ton for things that should be recycled. And that mentioned to us that about 12% of what goes in that new can is actually without. So this new, processing facility will be able to take all of that at no cost to us, other than just us getting it up there. So we would be responsible for that. Yeah, and maybe waste management is interested in keeping that. I'm talking with Gary, waste management owns those cans, we don't own those. So maybe that's an option we ask them about as we get ready to review that contract and see what we want to have them. We still have a couple of years on there. We do.
This went 2 years?
Wait, close.
Actually, I'm not sure if we knew or not, because I cannot find a copy of the renewed contract, so we may be able to say,
But we did sign one.
I can't find the same contract, I can't find it in the council meeting when we approved it.
Oh, well then.
So Beth,
Nobody put a lock on it.
yeah, so Beth left right in the middle of that process.
No, this was, that was when they were asking to be integrated.
Right.
But our contract, I've gone back, because when we had that discussion, they kept saying we renewed the contract. I can't find where we renewed the contract. I can't find the document, I went back to the minutes to see if we renewed it. So I think we're at a point where we need to renew our contract. I'll do more research, I need to do more.
Or we just hold them off until the,
Yeah, we're looking at, what, first quarter of next year, we should be.
And that's only if we went this route, right? I thought the $2 a can more.
That's already will be taking place.
We don't have any say in that. We've got to make the decision.
We voted that through, because we needed to build this.
Right.
Kind of a replacement for the burn plant.
Right.
Because it's allowing us to make use of that waste stream, rather than fill up our landfill.
And when does that $2 kick in?
I think it's June, July.
July 1, so we'll have to address it in the budget. My tentative budget doesn't have it in it, but that's something that we're going to have to discuss, because it will kick in July 1, and we're going to have $2 increase.
We just barely told the customer, the citizens that we're raising the recycle rate, and now we're gonna, that's what, 40% increase or something? It's pretty substantial.
Well, and I feel there's another issue that we need to discuss with you, and that is, I think it's great that we can take our recycle cans up there and not have to pay the fee, but we're gonna have to pay to have it taken up there. And I'm not sure if that's fair for us cities that do the recycling versus those that don't do the recycling, because, yeah, they'll just take the regular garbage cans up there. So I believe there needs to be a discussion about that.
Yeah. An option we have is if we cancel that contract with Waste Management, they take back the can, a lot of our residents are gonna say, hey, I need something else.
Right.
And maybe they need to get a second can. That actually is gonna be more expensive to get a second black can than potentially keep that pollution. As we get closer, let's weigh what all those options are. Just know that we're not gonna be dealing for a tip fee for our new cans, should we decide to send them.
Councilperson Larrabee, will you please speak into your microphone because I can't hear you?
I
And I doubt that the stuff on camera can hear you either.
I think you're right, Dick.
Thank you.
I think you're right.
Well, I might have brought up, a time or two before.
No.
I never heard that from anybody. Between us and maybe, larger cities.
Yeah, right.
Right, with that.
That's all I've got. Okay, any questions for Wally? Matt, you have the next two?
I got the next two, both of them are doing great, they are gearing up. I will get the 3 dates for the movies, make sure they're spraying. We'll get those sprayed right before then.
And the farmer's market, do we need to?
I was toying with the idea, some of them are really close, and they're gonna be on Mondays, and they won't spray. They'd like to do it the night before, preferably, but that's not gonna happen being a Sunday night.
Yeah.
All the movies are Mondays too, so.
Right, I do tell them to make sure that they do them as late as possible. I was toying with the idea, and I hadn't, I wrote down the date for that reason. I don't know how often they like to circulate through the neighborhood, but for sure the movies, and I'll talk to them about the other reason, the farmers markets are over when,
It does. Yeah.
so, for sure the movies,
They
that's
go
when.
they go from 4 to 8.
Right, and I was wondering if that, the seals usually don't hit until kind of right at the end, but I'll talk to them, and if they wanted to do it, that's great. And, planning commission was short and sweet, and big, hot topic, we covered tonight.
Okay, thank you. Fire district report, basically, we just, had an update on the fire station and, what's going on there. Because of the weather, we were right on time, and then this last batch of weather hit, and we're about to, the project manager said we're about 18 days behind. But they're still moving right along. If you haven't seen it, the curriculum up, it's looking really good, so. As far as the rec district goes, we're in the process of doing our general plan for the future expansion, and how we're gonna deal with everything. I'm on that committee. We had a meeting yesterday at 3 o'clock, prior to our board meeting, and discussed several different options and things that need to happen. There's some major repairs that we're gonna have to do in the building, before we can do the expansions and stuff. But they're looking to expand the exercise space, add more family changing rooms, stuff like that, to the facility that several complaints that there's not enough restrooms. They're actually looking to put restrooms up, on the second floor, so everybody doesn't have to come down to use the restroom. So we're talking about that, and possibly, an extension of the pool, the indoor pool, the last pool.
How long has that building been there?
12 years. Yeah, they just had a 12-year anniversary. Working on our 13th year. Other than that, I don't have anything, just, as far as everything that's been going on, just want to say kudos to the chief. You guys have been very professional and handled things very well the last few weeks, so we appreciate that. Very, very professional. Gary, administrator.
Just 2 items. One, that I included a copy of the strategic plan document. Next meeting, we got the budget, so probably won't, but maybe the meeting after, I'll put that on the agenda, we can discuss that. And then the other budget, I shot that out today, so if you have any questions, you'll have, 3 weeks before the tentative budget, so if you have any questions, let me know.
Are we gonna get a hard copy again of the strategic plan?
Oh, the strategic plan?
Yeah.
I can get everybody a hard copy. I'll put it in your box.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
How's Brian liking Emma?
He sent me, I asked him how it was going, he sent me this full page email explaining everything that was going on. I haven't had time to read it, but it's on my.
You got your time on hand, and we love to do that.
He was excited to tell me all these things. So he's enjoyed it.
Put him in charge of counting the elk during the elk migration that comes through there.
That's all I have.
Okay, and then, you want, some of the council members didn't know about Maureen, do you want to?
Oh, I thought I sent her an email.
You did.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Maureen has resigned. She's, her deal going on an LDS mission to North Carolina, Charlotte. And, her last day will be sometime around, May 6th. We have to figure that out. And we've already posted for the, getting the application already. I've got a couple. Yeah.
Are we gonna have a farewell party?
I think we'll put something together.
Okay.
I haven't talked to her
Yeah,
yet,
she's
but,
good.
yeah, she's been great.
Yeah.
You know, there's more golfers per capita in North Carolina than in this place in Memphis.
Really? North Carolina? And I live in South Carolina. I'm definitely not gonna go there. What's the deep fish?
Okay, anything else? If not, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Thank you.
Of course.
Don't forget the apple. They make cupcakes.
No, I'm good, I already know.
Yeah, come and try it.
Just across the street there.
No.
You know, the vinyl graphics come all the way from Westwood, Idaho. Because Westwood,
So what was it?
yeah, the little kids that have,
Sometimes.
don't have swimming lessons, and they get right behind and make rubber.
Marie kind of level, or that,
Yeah, I know, I know.
Well,
I mean, he was trained, he should say that, I thought it was pretty good.
They actually do a lot of them, and they do the large size and, the Marcellus is the most common.
Is that what they have here, called salad?
Yeah, they're, and Marcellus, they kind of different ones, but we get it right here. Marcellus,
I'd love to say that.
That's where it's sort of like,
And I knew when we did that, it was the prosecutor, and when I pulled into the gas station, I made sure that the top on those sides, so we couldn't get in on the other side. So he didn't. So the first thing I did was I started all the you know, get away from it. Like I said, I'm not done. My family's done law enforcement. My sister actually started in 1991. That tells you how long. And my brother's retired. So I don't know, you know. But as soon as I could go, I knew I could go. But I don't know back in time. So, those are pretty narrow spaces, and that was their challenge. So I can find a chance to do a lot of it. Yeah, it was left out a lot of things. And he did the same thing. And he followed me all the way up, except he did not follow me.
Well, you guys all have fun down there.
And drove through because I got the drug pouch already. And I stood there.
So, yeah, when you back up, you can clean.